Yeah, my feet still work.
Gotcha. All right, sir.
Dispatch 257, show me 1076, Mission Row, 1018, Big Code 2.
Come on! Exercise!
We are, yeah.
I've been informed that you wanted to speak with someone in the DA's office, and I've made myself available for that meeting. How can I help?
What do you know about guns?
Not a whole lot, except for the classifications of them. Troopers, I believe Mr.
Gambino.
Dorfman has arrived. I've heard the name, don't know the individual.
Dispatch 219 shows 1076, lights 1090.
What have you heard about him?
Not privy to say, unfortunately.
Counselor Edward here is a former associate of Mr. Gambino.
Gotcha.
Close associate.
Money spent on medical comes off our bottom line.
What should I know about him?
I guess that depends on what you want to know, Counselor.
The most recent information I have is there's potential hits out in the city that the Gambino family has been tasked with. But that's
Jack
genuinely...
Rockwell, Joey Aldrich. I was given $18,000 by Maxine Devereaux to take both of them out.
So, by her saying the Gambinos, you're telling me that that was you.
Are we gonna have to put you in solitary?
I didn't do it. I had plans to take Joey out. Luca took Jack out. Don't know how it happened, where it went down. Told about it after.
Understood. So, you brought up guns. What should I know about them?
No touching.
What do you want to know, Counselor?
How are they getting into the city?
Group. Works in the shadows. Don't know who they are. Don't know why they do what they do. Met with them a couple of times. I don't know.
Can you stop hurting
Asian descent, maybe.
Money spent on medical comes off our bottom line.
2 women, a young man and an older man. Don't know their names. Only ever heard one person speak. I'm sorry, scratch that, 2 people. The younger man would take our guns and our phones, pat us down, make sure we were clean.
219's rolling.
The older man, I guess he was the one in charge.
I see. So, there's a group, there's guns, and then somehow Luca Gambino is mixed in that group. Where's he fall into the mix?
Every
Dispatch
supplier
advised
needs a
there's gonna be
storefront.
no vehicle
Mr. Counselor.
outside, no suspects around.
Apologies, can you repeat that?
Yeah. I said every supplier needs a storefront.
Understood. And if I've read the advertisements correctly, do remember I'm newer to the city, there's a Gambino's barbershop. Are you telling me that that barbershop is a front?
It was when I was with the family, but considering the fact that Luca and Darren saw me get picked up by Dazzler here,
Dispatch 257, show us on
I'd
foot.
wager
We're
they
gonna be
probably
code
already
6
cleaned
the area.
everything out. Gotten rid of any
219,
evidence
be advised, that rooftop's gonna be clear.
that might corroborate what I'm
219,
telling
same
you.
traffic.
Direct, me back in the vehicle.
Understood. So, what was your overall request for this meeting?
Can you stop hurting each other? Money spent on medical comes off our bottom line. Can I get a beat down on number 855?
Mind if I... Or if you'd rather read it to me.
I don't want to read it anymore. I don't want it anymore.
Dispatch 219,
Okay.
show us making an expedited response to U2 on Sonora. For staging.
Give me a
Jasper,
moment to read through this.
You mentioned that this list that Miss Devereaux gave you included Jack Rockwell and Joey Aldridge. You mentioned that you were going to facilitate that request on Joey Aldridge. However, Jack Rockwell was done
Be
by
advised the
Mr.
1090
Gambino,
at the
correct?
Jetsons warehouse is going to be code 4.
That's what I was told.
Come on! Exercise!
Who was the individual that informed you on this?
Luca himself.
What did he say exactly, if you haven't already mentioned it to the counselor here?
That Jack Rockwell has been taken care of.
Do you remember the date
When
on
you
this conversation?
No. Fortunately, I don't.
Inmates on drug charges.
And just for clarification, when you say Luca, you mean Luca Gambino.
Yes.
Jasper, how close was the Gambino family to the
Dispatch
organization
219,
known
hold
as
that
the
usual.
Tribe?
Exercise! An exhausted prisoner is a compliant.
All right, sorry about that. That was a flinch.
Nope.
Jasper?
They were allies. An alliance between the Gambino family and the tribe.
Stretch your legs, prisoners. We're going 20 a cell tonight.
We've recently obtained knowledge that the tribe was primarily operating under gun trade, illegal gun trade. Did the Gambino family get their guns from the tribe?
Once upon a time. Then, Luca was given some introductions.
So, I'm gonna jump back to what you just handed me, and we'll continue to ask questions about what and where and why these guns are appearing. So, how did this letter make it to you, sir?
I gave it to him today. Last time we spoke.
Please keep your phones in your asses till you're back
Okay.
in your cells.
And do you, by calling this meeting, I think that I'm instantly asked either one thing or two things. What's the state gonna do for you? And what are you gonna do for the state? Do you know who did this?
Exercise. An exhausted prisoner is a compliant prisoner.
All I want from the state, counselor, is to watch Luca Gambino burn.
What information can you provide to us that's gonna help me make that happen?
Come on! Leave his shoes on his feet.
There's a building south of Jamestown, the apartment complex there, that the Vagos call home. They took an associate of ours there, a man by the name of Jordan Klein.
Stretch your legs, prisoners. We're going 20 a cell tonight.
He made the choice to talk to the cops about something. Ironically, a choice that I've made myself. Found out about it. Myself, Luca, and another associate of ours at the time, Eric Falk, came down south
An exhausted prisoner is a compliant prisoner.
to a building there. Had a little chat with him. He admitted to what he'd done. Then Luca gave the command. Got his kneecaps, put two in his head.
You can hold your special friend's hand.
As far as I know, the body's still laying there, rotting.
How many others like it?
The guy we were first starting out months ago. Yeah. Made the mistake
Back to
still in Darren's van. Van was full to the brim with weed bricks. Nah. We managed to find him. Tried to have a little chat with him. He opened fire. At the time,
No touching.
Bruce Greenwell. Hadn't quite joined the family just yet. But we knew him. We'd worked with him some. He, shot the guy down. Tossed him in the trunk. Took him out beyond the airfield up in Sandy Shores.
Can you stop hurting each other? Money spent on medical comes off our bottom line.
We, he was already dead by the time we got there. Checked his pockets. Didn't have much on him. An ID, I don't remember the name. Grindle, Gravis, I don't know, something like that. Something started with a G. He,
Save all intimate assaults for the shower block.
we filled his body with lead. Make sure he didn't get back up. Left him there.
Whose vehicle did you put him in the back of? Was that Mr. Greenwell's?
I think it was something we grabbed off the road. I don't really remember.
Hold it for the bucket yourself.
Who was the driver?
I think Luca drove.
So you're giving us this information in hopes of us finding, prosecuting, and taking care of Luca. But what does it have to do with the letter that you've handed me today?
You're going to be available to take Thomas, 219.
Be advised about with 217 and the 88 at Bolingbrook.
Direct. Do you want to go direct with 217? See if you can get permission to FTO.
I had one
219.
request.
I need a 1042.
Turn myself over to Dazzler.
Direct. Leave my mission, or I'll get with him soon.
Confirm. He'll be at Sandy Shores. That's
That
all.
letter tells me my request wasn't fulfilled.
Can you stop hurting each other? Money spent on medical comes off our bottom line.
Who was the request made
Dispatch
to?
288, 1041.
And what was it?
The request was to protect Robin Miles. Jasper felt that this all went down and put in our custody, but immediately reach out and attempt to harm her.
Please keep your phones in your asses till you're back in your cells.
288 responding to the last
Miles
1051.
was fortunately found
Dispatch 257. Show me 1042. Have a good night.
When was this?
257, show me
director, was
1042,
this
2330.
morning?
Have a good night.
Yesterday?
morning. Boa has the information. Getting to hear from the
288, code 6.
Well, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna work with the state police, obviously they're present. I'm gonna get warrants out for his arrest. And we're gonna get him at the very least,
Dispatch medic went back to 8.
on the first two that you told me about. I don't know
That medic 1 showing you back in service, 2331.
or what unfortunately killed Robin. However, if you
288,
can
I
tie
got
that one
visuals
to
on
and two,
the
you have my
bicycle
promise
reference in LS
that will be taken
1061.
care of.
But no eyes on any suspicious individuals in the area. Gonna call UTL back tonight.
Hi, Dazzler.
104288, showing you back in service, 2331.
How did she die, Dazzler?
Don't know. I had put people out to look for her the day that we met, and you turned yourself in. I'd gotten in contact with her regarding this letter. That time I still had no actual contact with her. Only her telling me about it.
We need a cavity search on number 2582.
You know who did this? Who did this, Jasper? Need to find the tie that puts him to it.
Please save all intimate assaults for the shower block.
Tell
And,
Jax the weakest link.
Break. We got a 1090 in progress.
can-
Going to be at the Carson warehouse in North
I don't
Freeway,
know, maybe
Sandy
you can
Shores.
push him for
Units to
information.
handle
Maybe he'll
identifying
give you
response code 3.
something.
What was that name?
288.
Jilly, he'll
Jilly, yeah, Jilly Hilljack. He's normally the one that runs the front of the Gambino shop there up on Park.
How entrenched is he with Luca?
I don't know, I mean... Before I turned myself in, he never really done anything too bad that I know of. But I don't know now. I mean, I'm sure as soon as they saw me with you, they started cleaning everything up. I'm sure that they started clearing everything out, tying up loose ends, making sure that everyone that's left can be trusted.
Director, today you told
Yes.
me that you came into town after receiving reports of, I believe it was information that was provided to you from another trooper from a phone call that had been called into your department. What was called into your department today?
Dispatch 288 1050.
That
Going to be Ocean
The
King.
gentleman
Vehicle
in front of
disabled.
us, Edward Jasper, wished to speak with me immediately. His intention and his desire was to ensure that Miss
10-4,
Robin Miles was
Do
protected
you
and that
need
Luca
a
would not
repair kit?
harm her.
Negative. Ocean King.
That if he did harm her,
10-4.
that Jasper would make sure that his...
I see. Jasper, any
288 is going to be back mobile.
other
Continuing to respond to that.
information that you want to
1090.
provide at this time? I know that you've said a lot. I know that you've heard some not so great news today. And I don't want to pressure you or push you too much further, but I would request that our investigator from the DA's office is able to speak with you either tonight or at a later time. But I don't want to pressure you into that today.
You don't seem to understand, counselor. I'm already on borrowed time.
288 will be 1023 at
It's
the
only a
location
matter
at
of time
1090.
until
Code
I
6.
just don't wake up again. If you got questions, you better ask them.
Well, Mr. Dorfman's our investigator from the DA's office. I'll let him take the questioning from here, from our office. I'm sure Director Dazzler will have some questions for you as well. Is there anything else that the DA's office can do for you today?
288, no eye is at the location. Gonna be UTL.
Yeah.
I'll be
one
76
thing.
to Sandy Shores SO for vehicle
What's that?
repairs. 10-4-288, showing you 76 to Sandy Shores and so, 2337.
Make sure she didn't die for nothing.
You have my word on that. I'm going to
Jasper.
step outside for just a moment to take a phone call.
When I was walking out of the room, you mentioned a group that deals in the shadows. Can you make that statement again in front of Mr. Dorfman?
Yeah, there's a group that deals on the edge of everything. Had a few meetings I went to with them. I accompanied Luca, and usually 4 people. Younger man, but pat us down, take our weapons and our phone. Then we escorted somewhere. An older gentleman. The women will be waiting. Saw their faces a couple of times, never really enough to any good descriptions, or never given any names. That's who we got our guns from. They bought different kinds of shipments, you know. Got a destination. We went there, we picked them up. We paid them.
How did you pay him in
Parker.
cash? Or was that
Yeah,
a
I'm
bank
really-
transfer?
Hold on really quick. Parker, can you step outside and help the ADA get back in here?
If I step out, I can't get back in. It's that issue we talked about.
Ah,
Yeah, we're past visiting hours. We don't have access.
well, then I guess it's a very good thing we have a lot of questions to ask then.
How was the... Oh, I'm sorry, Director.
Fine, Dan. Just give me a second.
Oh God.
So this group mentioned you were patted down by a male, then brought forth in front of an older gentleman and what other type of person? Male, I think you
And
mentioned.
it was usually 2 females. I don't know, younger from the way they looked. Not too old, at least.
Any kind of orientation or ethnicity that they can remember on these individuals?
Yeah, they were all, I don't know, Asian descent maybe? Not really sure.
288 back 10-8. 10-4-288, showing you back in service.
I'm going to
2340.
mention a couple aliases that I've gathered. If any of them ring a bell, or if any of them possibly someone you've heard in passing say something. Boogeyman. Moogie. Night Stalker.
No. I was never given any names. We just called them our friends.
Where did these deals usually take place?
Different places. We, Luca met him at the docks a couple of times. I wasn't privy to those meetings. was situated nearby in a car in case something went wrong. We, met him at a few other places. I mean, it was always just random. They gave us a destination. We went to it. Sometimes they weren't even there. It's just a van full of guns.
Okay. Now, going back to a question I had prior about Mr. Gambino's association with the tribe, who can you recall being a member of that organization, if any names were given?
Of the tribe?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the chief, for one. Nancy Flutterbottom. Maxine Devereaux. Jack Rockwell.
No shitting in the yard. Hold it for the bucket yourself.
No. Last I heard, Legs McCready.
What do you know about their movements, their involvements?
Inmates on drug charges. You might be on
Had their hand on a lot of things. Tried to make a lot of deals with a lot of people. Tried to play all sides. And it benefited them to turn everyone against each other.
What about hardware? You asked earlier if the main supplier of the Gambinos, in terms of weaponry, was the tribe. Are you personally familiar with any location or any dealing location that the tribe operates in or holds storage in?
No. But, last time I got anything from the tribe, they used the subway tunnels. Dropped the packages in garbage cans.
Dan?
Yeah. The
No, you can ask him your questions.
you had mentioned about that you were delivering payments. How did you typically pay these people? For the hardware
Like
that
I
you
said,
picked up from them.
most times it was just a van loaded down with guns. We didn't ever meet anyone to give him anything. So I'm not sure. But, Luca liked to take a little gift to him when we had meetings with them. One time, delivered a briefcase of $10,000 directly to the old man himself.
Did this organization ever give any kind of name they operate under? I understand no names of the individuals themselves was ever given, but...
No. I only knew them as our friends. That's all Luca ever called them.
You said you didn't see their faces for a while. Were they wearing masks?
First time I met with them, yeah. They were wearing masks.
Can you describe the masks?
An exhausted prisoner is a compliant prisoner.
I don't remember exactly. I think maybe they were red. They had some kind of horns, I'm not sure.
Would you say
Tried
that
not to make eye contact.
Would you say that his mask may have been kind of demonic looking?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't really remember any details. At the time, I didn't think I'd ever need to know any details.
Jasper, when you were with the Gambino family, you mentioned that hardware, illegal weapons, was obtained through this organization, data organization. Those weapons obtained for use by the Gambino family for redistribution.
We were one of 4 suppliers. Storefronts, if you will.
Would be the other 3.
I already know about the tribe. Considering your recent raid on them, I'd assume you already know about SecuroServe.
Be correct?
Rising Sun.
Rising Sun is in the insurance company?
Yeah. Most notably Orihara.
That would be the gentleman that, Asian gentleman that normally wears the red suit.
Yeah, it's him.
How involved was the company lead?
No idea how involved Oshima was.
Sorry? Sorry,
I said I have
she-
no idea how involved he was, or even if he was.
So just this gentleman that worked there, Mr. Orihara?
As far as I know.
So essentially every single one of these 4 you could think of as storefronts, whereas this shadow group is the bulk supplier.
Yes.
Do you have any knowledge of the recent rise in drug-related activity within the state? Mainly, recently being the addition of Class 2 narcotic known as cocaine, crack cocaine, as well as methamphetamine.
I'm aware.
Can you tell me about that?
What do you want to know, Dazzler?
Is the Gambino family involved at all?
Yes.
How are they involved?
We would purchase it from the distributor.
So the Gambino family never produced the actual products, the CDS?
No. We purchased bricks of pure cocaine.
Who was your supplier?
Harry Brown.
How long and when did this start?
Think about it, man. You're part of America's best growth industry. Be happy.
Month and a half, 2 months ago. Something like that, maybe.
And up until a couple days ago, you were aware that the Gambino family had still been getting this cocaine, or had this ended? Are they still actively involved in that?
We weren't getting it from Brown.
Why did they stop getting it from Brown?
They left the city.
Once that source had dried up, once that well had dried up, where did the new source come into play from?
Exercise. An exhausted prisoner is a compliant prisoner.
Alexis Freeman.
Sorry, can you say that name again?
Alexis Freeman.
Referencing the individual that owns the tattoo parlor in Vinewood Hills, correct?
Yes.
Were you ever privy to the information on any location that those drugs were made?
No, but first time we ever received any of the product, met with Alexis and Harry. A small point just east of Paleto. The pathway there, dirt pathway, leads up to a cliff with a bench. Nice spot, overlooking the ocean. Ironically, somewhere I thought I was gonna take my last breath at one point.
So this spot is where these deals would go down, where your association, the organization you were associated with, the Gambino family, would meet with Miss Freeman and Mr. Brown, and they would turn over large volumes of bricks of cocaine.
I'm not sure exactly where all they met. That's where we met them the first time. That was Darren's line of work.
And that individual you just mentioned is going to be a Darren Fole, I believe.
Come on! Exercise!
Yeah.
How did the actual system work? You obtained the Gambino family obtained the product, and they would distribute it themselves? Were there street level distributors not associated directly with the Gambino family?
Darren would buy the product. Then he would sell it to the associates.
We're paid $850 a day to house, feed, and clothe you.
So the Gambino family, if you would, could be considered the middleman. They would get the bricks. They would then distribute the bricks, or they would process the bricks and separate them, and then give them to the associates. Would that be associates within the Gambino family or outside?
Plan was both. I don't know who all Darren sold to, though. Like I said, that was his line of work. Never really liked drugs myself, so I kept my hands clear of it.
So just for the record, then, Darren Fole was the head honcho, if you will, when it came to the drug game within the Gambino family.
Yes.
Who was the head honcho of the gun trade?
I was.
And both of these sections of the Gambino family were directly under the orders and commands of Mr. Luca Gambino?
Yes.
Aside from the location that you mentioned might have already been tampered with, what other areas would the Gambino family use as stash houses, storage units, warehouses, anything like that to hold these illegal contraband?
There There were no other storehouses yet. We had plans. In fact, Darren and myself checked out a few warehouses the other day that we were interested in. But, for the barber shop, we used to keep things in Darren's van, locked away.
Was this the same van that was used in the murder of, I believe the name was Jordan Klein?
No, no van was used in that. I, believe we did that in Eric's car.
That is Eric Falk.
Yes.
You remember the other night when we ran into each other out by the oil refinery?
Yes.
I had you pulled over on a traffic stop. Is there any kind of illegal activity happening either before or after that traffic stop?
We're paid $850 a day to house, feed, and clothe you.
And we were just driving. Talking.
Dispatch 219, show myself 1042.
This van, possessed by Darren, it used to keep things in.
1042,
Could you describe that van to me? What color and make is it?
Yeah. Last time I saw it was gray. One of those, long vans with the, tinted out windows, the painted over windows.
Nice ink on the face there, pal.
Listen, been in here a while. You might be able to walk a little bit.
Alright, just gonna uncuff you the table. I'm gonna put your cuffs back on though, okay?
Are we gonna have to put you in solitary?
The
Yeah, I
back
understand.
cuffs won't be necessary.
Alright. There you go.
Thank you. How did we get here, Dazzler?
Please save all intimate assaults for the shower block.
All roads always lead to the same area, don't they?
There was a time, Dazzler. Time where I would have considered you a friend, an ally.
Stop walking like that, or I'll call you up for keystering.
You can ask what changed? I think what changed in me is I saw that
No shitting in the yard. Only for the bucket in your
if I didn't have the power that I have now, if I didn't stay on the line that I needed to, people that were under me, alongside me, or above me, be able to make it through what this city can churn out. This city takes from people.
Come on! Leave his shoes on his feet.
Morality. You know better than I that this city can turn most pure person into the most darkest of demon. Those who try and stand against that turn and try and protect those from that turn falter and give way and go to that dark side. That morality fails, and everyone's affected.
What saved you, Dazzler? What made you turn
Love.
back?
Love for a person who made me realize how precious life can be, and how easily it can be extinguished. Woke up one day and just thought something that my little boy be able to look his father in the eyes and say, "Dad, proud of you, and I want to be just like you."
Nice ink on the face there, pal.
But I want this world to be a better place than when I stepped in, than when my son has to live in it.
At least one of us was saved.
No shitting in the yard. Hold it for
I think while your time may not be long here, Jasper, I think what you're doing today is going to save a lot of other people. Good people that don't deserve to suffer the same fates that we've had to see our loved ones go through. People we care about.
We need a cavity search on number 2582.
How's Jessie doing?
She's gonna make it. Now she's in in Pillbox Upper Medical, to my knowledge. Covering.
Are we talking about Jesse Vara or Jesse
Jesse Slater.
Jesse Slater?
Can
All
you
right.
stop hurting each other? Money spent on medical comes off our bottom line.
Good. He didn't deserve that. You know?
I think we all deserve something better than what we're having to endure in this city.
No touching.
You ever heard the phrase, once a cop, always a cop?
A lot of people use that phrase to grab Ada Clark.
A lot of people use it wrong.
Blacks on the left, whites
It's not about locking away criminals or wearing a badge or wearing a wire or gaining intel. Wear this badge and this uniform. Your duty, your primary duty is to protect people. That's something that you never stop doing once you take that oath, no matter how old you get. Took that oath a long time ago, Jasper. While you may have fallen a bit far away from that,
Hold it for the bucket yourself.
doing that now by what you're doing right now. Trying to protect people.
I think sometimes we can fall too far, though, Dazzler.
Then, that's the point when you gotta rely on people to be there. Put their hand down the tube and pull you back out, right? We're doing right now. think, unless Dorfman's got anything else he wants to ask, I feel like this is enough for today.
Can you stop hurting each other? Money spent on
I got a few other questions, if you don't mind, Director. What is you had mentioned that you heard from a few people that you know, this comment about Ada Clark.
You can hold your special friend's hand, but that's it.
Who did you hear those types of comments from?
From people. Not really anyone in particular. Nobody really trusted Clark. Except Maxine. But I guess we all know how that turned out.
Just touching on that. Maxine came to you all, the Gambino family, with that list. Do you have any knowledge from where she got that list from? It wasn't made by her.
Didn't tell me who she got the list from. But a couple days ago, Luca, myself, Bill, Jack, and Matthew, we met up with Mav Doretto, the quarry, off of Route 68.
Yes.
Luca asked Doretto why Maxine killed Ada Clark.
Dispatch 288, hold me out 10-6, 5 to 7 miles.
Mav Doretto looked right at Luca and said,
10-4, 288, showing you 10-6,
I fucking told her
009.
to.
Do you have any knowledge on the whereabouts of Mr. Doretto? Anything that was mentioned? Any plans he had that he may have mentioned to all of y'all when you met up?
No, but if you want to get him, Dazzler, you better hurry. A lot of people looking for Doretto. A lot of people.
We're paid $850 a day to house, feed, and clothe you.
Who would be those people? Who would be the people looking for him, Jasper?
Come on! Leave his shoes on his feet. Please save all intimate assaults for the shower block.
I don't know.
Is there a dollar amount on his head?
No tocar, por favor.
I don't know.
This ever fall in your lap?
We We have plans to scoop up Dorado, delivering to our friends.
What you're saying is this shadow group that you mentioned earlier had contracted y'all or spoken with y'all in hopes of using you to capture Mr. Dorado. What would happen after you were to capture him or obtain him?
No idea. We were just supposed to deliver him.
So then that would be the answer to the question, is you were listed to bring him to this shadow group.
All I know is Luca said that our friends wanted us to grab him. That's all I know.
How long ago was that? Do you recall how long ago that was?
Stretch your legs, prisoners. We're going 20 a cell tonight.
A few days ago. Maybe Saturday. Not sure.
You know if they were ever successful in it?
Last I knew, no. But, you know, I've been a little bit out of the loop.
When was your meeting out in the quarry?
Remember, we control your parole, so behave.
Around that same time.
Was it before or after Luca gave the Luca talked to you about scooping him up?
The same day. Luca didn't mention that until after the meeting. No, wait, he mentioned it before the meeting. I headed out after the meeting. It's been a long day.
Why not scooping him up at the meeting? You had him right there.
I don't know, Luca wanted to wait.
You mentioned earlier that that Mav had spoken to Mr. Gambino about this list, or I'm sorry, about the murder of Ada. Said that the question got brought up that why would Maxine do that to Ada? Pretty knowledgeable that she cared about her. Mav said that because he told her to. Do you have any evidence that can? Do you have any evidence that can put that towards him? Any text messages, anything like that?
Oh, all I know is Maxine used to run with Mav and his boys. That's all I know.
What about any text messages that would implicate Mr. Gambino with any of the associated acts that you've mentioned to us? Assaults, the murders, the gun trade, narcotics, anything like that that exists?
No, we were smart. Never talked about that shit over text messages.
Do you ever have anyone that wasn't smart as you? May have contacted you about that? Or anything along those lines, you know what I mean?
I think Joey Aldrich might have texted Darren one time asking about cocaine, but I'm not sure.
Well. Dan?
Within the Gambino organization, who are the killers? Who are the guys that Luca could count on to take out and do some of these jobs that you talked about?
I was.
You did these actions by yourself? No one from the family assisted you?
Darren was there sometimes Miles, but I pulled the trigger.
Anything else, Dan?
That's all I got for right now. I'll have some other questions, but I've got a lot of notes to pour through right now.
I'll do.
Ask your question, Dazzler.
Sure.
Who picked up Dmitry Barkov off that beach a few days ago?
That was Navoa. He brought him in, brought him to the hospital, tried to question him, but he wouldn't give anything up. Started saying he didn't remember anything.
Matthew Miller pulled the trigger. As far as I know, the gun that shot Dmitry Barkov still sitting in the trunk. Miles' BMW.
Search on number 2582.
What kind of weapon was it?
I don't know. A 9mm pistol.
Standard, not automatic?
Not automatic. No.
I'll pass that to the DA's office. Sure,
Yeah.
Dan will inform him, actually.
I was gonna say I'll take care of that with the ADA.
Jasper, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dictate to the DOC that you be held in a maximum security cell where you'll have constant overview while you're here. Any kind of visitors, any visitation like that will have to go directed through my office before it can be done. Matter that we're taking to ensure your safety.
In your asses till you're back in your cells.
Understand, sir?
I understand.
DA's office will most likely be in contact with you for additional questions. I'm sure Bailey's going to have some once we bring this to him, as well as my department in case we need anything further. But I do want to say one thing, Jasper. You might not want to believe it, especially after what happened to Robin. One of the calls that you gave to my department from the phone here was that you want to make sure that Lucas World burns around him. Might not have a pair of matches, Jasper.
No shitting in the yard.
I got a whole set of them back at the department. We'll be done. Take him over to the
I'll be in
Max.
I'll be in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to go out that door, Dan. This goes back to
Oh,
the
wrong door.
the jail.
Yeah.
All right.
I have to help you through this door, Jasper.
All right. Let's follow the director.
You can hold your special friend's hand, but that's it.
Which way is it to the Max security wing?
Through the way you're going, I believe. Gonna be right down at the end.
Parker, you can pull out. I'll take it from here.
Understood. I feel like I'll need to talk to you soon about some information.